Brian, we are watching bond yields climbing yet again below that high that we saw yesterday, but the 10-year just hovering right below that. And investors once again digesting comments from a number of Fed officials who've been speaking this morning. I know you've been watching that one really closely. Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari, one of them, saying he has dramatically shifted his view of inflation over the last 6 months.
Yeah, and the commentary that we're hearing from the Federal Reserve officials has definitely suggested there's been a lot of movement within the central bank. Neil Kashkari generally seen to be one of the more hesitant people in any hiking cycle, apparently supporting 7 total rate hikes this year. Keep in mind that means that he's about the median member of that 17-member committee, which would mean that really, or 16-member committee, I feel it is actually. But Kashkari really positioning himself as someone who no longer is the more dovish member of this committee. And keep in mind, this also squares with a lot of other commentary we're hearing from a number of other Fed officials worried about what's going to happen with inflation when you take a look at Fed Governor Christopher Waller, who also spoke this morning specifically about home prices and said, look, even the high inflation readings that we're already seeing may not be fully reflective of the impact of higher home prices and mortgage costs that Americans have been experiencing over the last year or so. And when we take a look at the Wi-Fi Interactive, as you pointed out already, Akiko, the 10-year note at 235 basis points. What's interesting, though, is kind of when you unpack the movement over the last month or so, again, the rip up higher in longer term bond yields has really been kind of a pure indication of the rapid market repricing of what the Fed is going to do, because it seems like most market watchers had not expected the Fed to telegraph as many rate hikes as it did. But again, as you mentioned, the overall averages, take a look at the Dow Jones up 0.5%. Some of that could be because of the PMI composite index data that we got this morning, showing an 8-month high at 58.5. Services, manufacturing, both above estimate.